Good morning, TikTok land. How's everybody doing? We got a fresh article here, and this one's from TV Insider, and this is a little more interesting. It says Gypsy Rose Blanchard says Hulu stole her story for, quote, the act and didn't pay her life rights. Well, no, they didn't steal the story. They made an adaptation of her story, so that's not exactly stealing it. And I'm pretty sure they spoke with her to get the details in order to even get, the scenes into the actual show or the series accurate. So yeah, I don't think there's any stealing involved in this. It's probably just Grifty Rose trying to, grab something off Hulu at the last minute because her money grifts are probably running out now that her YouTube move from. Again, that's how you can tell if she's still demonetized from TikTok or not. She's finding new ways to grab the grift, and you know what? Now she's gonna go after some of the old documentaries and adaptations, and she's gonna create these excuses as to why they should pony up more of the dough. So let's see what else this says. Let's see what accusations about her life they stole. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is making some surprising claims about the production of Hulu's The Act 6 years after its release. Yeah, a little delayed reaction there, Gypsy. There's a lot behind the act that nobody talked about, Blanchard claimed on the Monday, June 30th episode of Tori Spelling's Misspelling podcast. Once again, I'm gonna be doing an entire reaction to that podcast, but you know what I mean? I have to cringe my way through listening to the entire thing. So far, the few parts I've been able to listen to just aggravated me to the point where I had to shut the damn thing off. Like, it's that bad. It's worse than the Dr. Phil interview. If the Dr. Phil interview made you upset, this is gonna make you even worse. This is why, again, I will always say Gypsy Rose came out of prison much worse because she did the Dr. Phil interview while she was in prison, and she became even further from reality in Tori Spelling's podcast. And I hate the fact that Tori basically is trying to basically grab at her ego and caress her ego to the point of saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna call my producers and see if you get on Dancing with the Stars. It's like, really, Tori? You're really gonna sit there and kiss her behind like that? Ugh. I guess she's off the rails. Miss Spelling is off the rails herself. Essentially, Hulu and the producers stole my story and made a huge successful show out of it. No, you provided them with the details. How else would they have gotten, well, they're not correct details, but details nonetheless that you gave them. Didn't pay me life rights. No, I guarantee you got something out of this. And yeah, you probably were paid handsomely, especially getting that commissary at that time. We all know from your records that you had handsome amounts in commissary while you were in prison. Didn't come to talk to me. Again, how else would they have gotten any of the details unless you provided it for them? You're lying. Didn't have any conversations to know what was accurate, what was not accurate. Again, who else besides her would provide those details? They were not third-party details. Who does she think she's convincing? This is crazy stuff. She's not gonna have a leg to stand on with any of this. So, whatever lawyer that she retains for this, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna be around for it too much. They'll probably just take the retainer fee and then dump her down the memory hole. That's what I would do if I was her lawyer. She continued, to this day, a lot of people are they will go off of the events that they've seen and the details that they've seen on the act, and they are incorrect because it was filler. It was filled in by producers. Yeah, just the parts that bother her, her teeth rotting out of her head because she never took care of them, and she, ate sweets and all that stuff in the middle of the night, and drank soda and ice cream and all that stuff. All the stuff that just makes her look bad. It's just anything that makes her look bad is the parts that she doesn't like. It's just unless it victimizes her and makes her look like some mistreated princess, it's of course she's gonna call it wrong. But it's I agree, there's a lot of parts of the act that were very, very much inaccurate, but you want to know what? Those were details given by Gypsy. It was based off her stories, and I think a lot of it was based off of they did get the information like off of her interviews and a lot of the stories she told in those interviews and Dr. Phil, all that stuff. It's just like, so most of it was gathered by her own words. So I guess she only has herself to blame, doesn't she? Anyways, moving on. Gypsy Rose, who suffered abuse caused by Munchausen syndrome by proxy from her mother. Oh, I'm still running with that. Dee Dee Blanchard. The mother-daughter duo's toxic relationship resulted in Gypsy Rose's then-boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, schmurdering Dee Dee in 2015. Godejohn received a life sentence for the crime, while Gypsy Rose was given a sweetheart little slap on the wrist of 10 years. She didn't even serve that much. For second-degree schmurder, sentences should have been reversed. I will always say that. Well, moving on. She served 8 years of her sentence before being released on parole in 2023. Gypsy Rose has since completed her parole and welcomed her daughter Aurora with her boyfriend Ken Uger. On the podcast, Gypsy Rose recalled expressing her disapproval of the show while serving time behind bars. Quote, "I was like, I don't support this. This is wrong." It's a very good way to describe your crime there, Gypsy. And your grooming of Nicholas Godejohn. Funny, your own words are relevant, just not the way you say them. You're taking a tragic event and you are Hollywooding it on up. Yeah, you've sold your soul to reality TV and just about every single thing that can offer you money, so now you're starting to complain? Okie doke. Yeah, again, pot calling the kettle black there, Gypsy. She explained. And now, people, when they write me, they're confused because they don't know fact from fiction. Well, yeah, when you lie constantly and you contradict yourself every 20 seconds, you're correct. We don't know fact from fiction. That's why we have to. That's why we have to go by the FOIAs, and that's why we gotta, have some other way to verify your claims, Gypsy, because your words are meaningless. Your credibility is going to be forever shot down the drain, just like Jodi Arias, Casey Anthony. Anytime those women, same thing. Like, speak two words, it's like, you better get that some other way to verify it, because never would anybody take those people's words at face value. Never. Once a liar, always a liar. And you know what? That's the one thing Gypsy Rose, I think, was actually truthful about, was that she could lie, come up with a lie, like, on the spot without a conscience. I think that's the only truthful thing she's ever told. Gypsy Rose said that instead of The Act, she recommends people watch the 2017 HBO documentary, Mommy, Unalived and Dearest. Yeah, again, that's got its issues too, big time. Like, parts of that are correct. Again, anything with the Munchausen by proxy narrative is just, it should just be like, just scrapped completely. Because again, while Dee Dee was for the most part, scammer and a con artist, she was not making her daughter sick. She was not giving her daughter anything to make her sick. There was no witnesses that ever said she was sick. She never went into the hospital sick. There's no medical records saying that she ever had symptoms of being sick. It's just like nothing. And there's nothing induced by the mother that caused anything, because you saw her when she was walking into court. She was perfectly healthy. So what was her mother giving her to make her sick if she was perfectly healthy? It's like, again, just that example alone. She didn't have to detox off of any meds, despite what she says. It's like, she spent 8 to 12 hours in that interrogation room. She didn't even seem like she had a fatigue or even felt like slightly ill. Nothing. You don't know fact from fiction when it comes to Gypsy Rose. One is factual and one is Hollywood, she stated. I think you're definitely not the factual thing, and your lies made it to Hollywood, but that's okay. They base most of their Hollywood's mostly fiction anyway, so I mean, you fit right in. Despite the inaccuracies Gypsy Rose noticed in The Act, such as herself owning guinea pigs instead of cats, I mean, okay, whoopity-doo. That's the least of the inaccuracies we could be looking at here. Okay, so you had guinea pigs instead of cats. Whoopity-freaking-do. She applauded Joey King's portrayal of herself. I gotta admit, Joey King did knock that out pretty nice with the even with the baby voice, all that stuff. Like, her and Patricia Arquette killed it in that series, and the actor that played Nicholas Godejohn too. Like, even though there were tons of inaccuracies in that too, like the part in The Act where he actually meets up with him in the movie theater, Dee Dee just kind of plays it off that he's just some creep in there that's just kind of just trying to like make contact with them, and she keeps like get out of here, get out of the way, like, you know what I mean? When in real life that's not what happened. Like, Dee Dee was cordial. She let Nicholas sit with them in the movie theater. She took pictures of them together, like dressed up for the Cinderella, you know, premiere and whatnot. It's like Dee Dee actually treated Nick very nicely. In the act, again, because this is based off of Gypsy's BS, it's like basically they portray Nick as like some random creep that was supposed to come up with some romantic line to say out of nowhere, and then Dee Dee in the act just, or Patricia Arquette's version of Dee Dee, was basically like, you know, get out of here, what do you want, you know, just kind of like shunned him. But in real life that didn't happen. No, he actually sat and watched the movie with them, and yeah, and the whole bathroom thing took place, if you know, yeah, that whole thing. And to this day, Gypsy Rose, even in her own book, said that when she was having, you know, her event with Nicholas in the bathroom, that he couldn't even, you know, finish up, let's just say. Like, and but according to her, this man also SA'd her as well. So it's like, okay, a guy that, you know, apparently wasn't even aroused enough to, you know, finish up, basically is gonna suddenly want to SA you and you know, go buck wild on you. It's like, no, I don't think so. It's like something was turning him off. While he did love you, it's just like he wasn't physically in it. Nope. Okay, where were we at here? Okay, I think Joey King did an amazing job playing me, she shared. I even DM'd her last February, and I told her, congrats. I think you got my stamp of approval. You did a wonderful job. Oh my God. I'm sure Joey King received that message like, oh my God, the famous Gypsy Rose got in touch with me and said, won my portrait. Do you think Joey King cares? It's like, she got a paycheck out of that, and you know what I mean? Well, she was probably, again, Joey King, like, probably only went by, like, what was given to her. She probably went with the narratives that were given to her. Again, I don't know what she actually thinks of Gypsy Rose, but, you know, knowing Gypsy herself, especially people that don't toe her narrative, she's gonna burn bridges with them really quickly or try to ruin their life in some way. So who knows what their texting relationship is like, if any of these superstars are even contacting her anymore. Probably not. According to Gypsy Rose, King said that she hoped that she portrayed me to the fullest extent, that she hopes it met my approval. She added, it was a huge undertaking, but it was a great exchange. I really appreciate her courage for taking on such a complex role and story. Okay, that's nice. Joey King is a way more relevant person than you ever will be, Gypsy. So it's like, I like how Gypsy's kind of like talking to her as like almost like an authority figure, almost like a boss would talk to their employee, like, you did a really good job. Yeah, I give you my seal of approval. Yeah, good. It's like giving a little pat on the back. It's like, listen, Gypsy, you're never going to be half the person and half the success that Joey King is. You should feel privileged that you had such a superstar portraying you, not the other way around. Just saying. And it concludes, King's performance in the act earned the actress Critics' Choice, Emmy, and Golden Globe nominations in 2019, and her co-star Patricia Arquette, meanwhile, scored Emmy and Golden Globe wins for her portrayal of Dee Dee. Yeah, if you watch I saw the act. I actually signed up for Hulu specifically to watch the act, and yeah, if you watch it as mostly, or at least 90% as a work of fiction, it's great. The only thing I can criticize with the act is it jumps all over the timeline. It's just like, it's not a really cohesive story. You know, it's not told like in a linear format. It's very all over the place. I don't know why they did it that way. It's like, it goes to the crime scene, like back to before Hurricane Katrina, jumps all the way to her talking to Nick, then jumps back to, Dan Glidewell is actually renamed in the act. He's a guy named Steve. Do with that what you will, but it is a guy that she met at VidCon and all that stuff, and a guy she did try to run away with, kind of thing. And yeah, Dee Dee, when she got there or whatever, now there is a fiction in that. Like in the real story, Dan Glidewell, his friends actually called Dee Dee and had her come because they were afraid that Dan Glidewell had a minor at his house because of the baby voice and the appearance and all that stuff. So they called Dee Dee, but in the act, Gypsy, I guess, accidentally dropped her phone before she got in the cab to go to Dan's, And so Dee Dee found the phone, and she looks for the address because they were texting it or whatever. Dan or Steve texted the address, and then that's how she knew where to go, or something. But Gypsy would have you believe that she would just drive around and just randomly find her at places and stuff like that. Then she would make her come leave with her, and it's just like, also this whole thing about like, oh, the police and nobody would ever listen to me because my mom told them that I had like the mental state of a 6-year-old or something. It's like, no, like, first of all, it doesn't matter if you're over 18 and this person doesn't have a power of attorney over you. It doesn't matter even if your mental state was slightly not there. You're still independent of them, regardless. So, like, Dee Dee's can't just change policy at places like the police station, courts, or doctors because she by your own word of mouth, without a single diagnosis, claims that, oh, she's got the mental state of a 6-year-old, don't listen to anything she says. Even though she can articulate herself perfectly well, knows vocabulary, knows how to express herself, knows how to, say things pretty straightforward. She can, get her feelings out. She can, she can do it with that shaky, weird, act, baby voice, whatever, but it's like still, nonetheless, it's like, she knows her vocabulary. She's not completely stupid. And, she's fairly intelligent when it comes to the lies, cons, and deceits aspect. She is. She's intelligent in that way. She's not intelligent in a good way. Not academically, not in any good ways. But when it comes to the lies, cons, and deceits, she's extremely intelligent. Don't underestimate her. Well, that's that, and I guess she's got her... she expressed years ago that there was parts of the act that she didn't like and that there was, inaccuracies in it, but I'm not sure if she didn't actually try doing anything about it. I guess she's trying to chase some sort of payment out of this. She said she didn't get life royalty. No, she got compensated for this. If her entire story was going into a Hollywood adaptation like that, she got paid for the story. Again, but who knows? Just maybe now she's... Again, at the same time, while she is doing her grifting, it's like, I think her biggest income source, if I had to take a guess, was the TikTok, because TikTok was she had that was her biggest platform, easily her biggest platform. And knowing between the sponsorship offers and also how much you would get, I've researched how much you get when it comes to the views and when it comes to the clout per post and all that stuff. She was getting hundreds of thousands of views and millions, even with stupid dance videos, and she was getting reimbursed pretty handsomely for it. She was getting paid pretty well, but then she got demonetized from that. Suddenly she's got to chase all these other opportunities and chase all these other things, stuff from the past. It's you know what, that thing from the act, maybe I can get something financially out of them, 6 years later after it comes out. Crazy. Grifty Rose, always on the grift. You can never stop her. Because I know the biggest nightmare fuel for somebody like her is getting a real job. But what do you think about this article? And what do you think about her basically talking to Joey King she's this, little, Gypsy's the boss, and Joey King, this superstar of an actress, by the way, huge on the rise, has been in tons of critically acclaimed movies. She's talking to her yeah, good job. Gives a little pat on the back she's a CEO or something. It's no. Gypsy should feel privileged that she had a superstar portray her. It's not oh yeah, you did it such a great job, blah 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 blah. No. Anyway, that's all for now, you guys. Talk to you later. And if you have anything to say about this article or you want to have any questions for me, go ahead and leave it in the comments.